It's a cliche that the universe is on your side. It works in your favor, and it is pushing Abby into a relationship.
Yeah, the universe was working for me the other day, and it all had to do with something that I thought was going to ruin my week. So, do you remember, I think it was last week I brought this up, that some guy moved next door to me, and I saw the back of his floppy brown head, and I was like, I have a hot new neighbor. And I was kind of like, I don't really know how to approach this man without looking like a total stalker, just like knocking on his door and be like, hello, yoo-hoo. Mm-hmm. Next door, single, are you single? And I
might be a wee bit forward.
It's just not the way to do it. So I've been contemplating how I'm going to make my move to make this happen, or at least to see the front of his face to make sure that the front of his head is just as ridiculous as the back of his head.
I think that's a good start.
So I have noticed that a lot of people have moved into the complex over the last couple of weeks. There have been a lot of U-Hauls. And one thing that I've noticed in correlation with something else is that I notice when I come home from my afternoon walk that the hallways start to smell a little skunky.
A little of the icky sticky.
There's a little icky sticky smell wafting throughout the hallways.
That's just Atlanta now.
It is. Well, it's really amped up in the last couple of weeks. And the same thing that is also amped up at the same time as this sticky, icky smell is the fire alarms going off. So I will notice around the same time that the hallways start to get a little funky, I have to exit my apartment.
Are these two of the same thing? Are they smoking so much weed that the fire alarms are going off?
That is my hypothesis.
Whoa.
Can I prove it?
Oh, I thought they were just getting really high and being stupid and pulling the fire alarm.
That's what you thought too?
I mean, that's a lot of smoke from weed.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It go down in some of these apartment complexes.
I will say, so my smoke alarm is very, very sensitive, which is why this is my hypothesis. Like, I'll make chicken and it'll get a little too steamy in there, and then all of a sudden my apartment will go beep, 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 and then I freak out because I don't want to ruin anybody else's day, because you've got to evacuate, because who knows if this is actually going to be the time that there's going to be a fire if this fire alarm goes off. So I live at the top floor of my apartment, so it's a big ordeal because I also have a cat. So when the fire alarm goes off, it's like beep, beep, beep. There's flashing lights in my apartment because I have an ADA unit, and I have to get my cat, who is 9 times out of 10 hiding from me under the bed. As someone with a lot of anxiety, this is also a traumatizing experience for me, because in the back of my mind, I don't hear, oh, I bet my neighbors are just smoking weed again and it set the fire alarm off. I'm thinking, we're going to burn alive. And I need to get my cat out from under the bed, and it's not very easy. I've got to get like a broom, and I've got to like knock her out, and then she's got to crawl out, and then I got to chase her, and then I got to put her in her little spaceship backpack so then we can then walk down and escape what I think in the back of my mind is a fire, but is probably just someone who tripped the fire alarm. So normally this happens around like 3 or 4 p.m. Someone's having an afternoon delight, and it's not that big of a deal. Where I have some issues is what happened last week while I was in deep REM sleep at 11:30 p.m. I wake up to the lights in my apartment flashing. I'm still kind of in that lucid dreaming state to where I'm like, what's real? Where am I? And all I'm thinking is, oh my God, if I don't get out of here ASAP, me and my cat are about to burn alive.
Man, after like, how many fire alarms before you're like, I'm not getting out of bed?
About one for me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm after it.
And you're from New York City, so you're used to hearing sirens and alarms and everything.
It's nothing.
Those are like birds.
Exactly. It actually helps me sleep at this point.
So I thought for a second, I'm like, let me just wait it out. Let me get dressed slowly, because I was also butt-ass naked, because sometimes I sleep naked in the summer because it's very cold, very hot in my apartment. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly not ending anytime soon. So I put on some sweatpants. I put on my Taylor Swift The Eras Tour blue sweatshirt. And the only shoes I could find were my puppy dog slippers. So I have slippers that look like dogs, which is very ironic considering I have a cat. So I look like a crazy person. Just Taylor Swift sweatshirt, gross cat hair covered black sweatpants, and my slippers.
And Della, your cat in your space.
And Della, who was traumatized because she didn't want to get out from under the bed because obviously like the lights were flashing, loud noises, cat, just that's a whole other story. Then I thought I blinded my cat because I thought I poked her in the eye trying to get her out from under the bed. It's a whole thing. So I get her in her spaceship backpack, which is just a black backpack that has like a clear semicircle, kind of like in kids parks where they have like that thing that'll stick out and kids can go out and look out at the other kids, like a
Yeah.
a plastic ball. So it's one of those things. So she's looking out and I'm now climbing the stairs down to where everyone is sitting out there, and it's all of my neighbors. We're all pissed because it's 11:30. Nobody wants to be out there. Finally, the alarm turns off, and I go upstairs, and I notice there's two guys walking behind me, and I'm like, this is not how I really want to be seen by the single men of my apartment.
course.
Staring at Della.
From my spaceship backpack. And because I'm on the top floor, it's sort of like one by one, they start dispersing into, their other levels, and I'm kind of taking note, like, ooh, that guy got on floor 5. Maybe I should hang out on floor 5. But then I notice there's one guy that's following me all the way to the top, and I kind of do like a quick turnaround, and I see the floppy brown hair and I go, hot neighbor. It's the hot neighbor. So I think this is my one chance to see the front of his face to see if he's actually hot. So I get to the top of the stairs and I decide I'm going to be a gentlewoman and I'm going to open the door for him. So I open the door for him and I turn and there he is wearing his glasses. So I'm like, oh, you should also be as anxious as me, looking nerdy as hell right now. He is not as attractive as I hoped he would be.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
That was close.
Thank God he was ugly.
You know who he kind of looks like? He looks like Milo from the Atlantis movie, the animated one from Disney, like kind of nerdy. You guys Google it later.
Okay.
But anyway, so I open the door.
He's a hottie for a cartoon character.
Yeah, to each his own. So anyway, I walk in and I'm thinking, I still kind of wanted a moment. And all he says to me is I'm like opening my door. So now he clocks on my neighbor. He goes, have a good night. And I go, have a good night, Milo. And that was the end.
That was it.
That's how I met my hot neighbor.
Oh, there's a picture Kristen showing. Okay. I think you caught him right.
Yeah. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think I'm cruising. So if I hear something knocking next door, I won't be too
Is
jealous.
his chin that long?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bert Show.